Hello YouTube, welcome to my first ever modded Minecraft tutorial where I will explain point by point how to make a jetpack, and we are making the thermal expansion tier 3 reinforced jetpack. Now there are 4 tiers, but for the 4th tier it's not that easy to do, so I'm just gonna go through the first 3 of them. Now I'm going to go through all the machines that you will possibly need, all the materials that you will need as well. But to make the Leadstone jetpack, that will give you 25,000 RFs of flight, which is not that much, but if you want to start a jetpack, this is definitely a good start. Now, if you want the Leadstone jetpack, what you will need are these items. I'll put a list on the screen right now. If you want the 2nd tier Hardened jetpack, that will give you 400,000 RF of flight, and the items that you will need are the following. Now, if you already made the Leadstone jetpack, what you will need are these items. I'll put a list on the screen as well. Now, if you have not done a Leadstone jetpack yet, all the items that you will need to make up to tier 2 is this. Now for the tier 3 jetpack is the reinforced jetpack that will give you a whopping 2 million RFs of flight, and the items that you will need to make this is if you already have the tier 2 jetpack, so if you already have the hardened jetpack, the items that you will need are these, including your 2nd tier jetpack. Now, if you already have the Leadstone jetpack, so if you have already made the tier 1 jetpack, all the items that you will possibly need to make up to tier 3 are these. And finally, if you do not have any of the jetpacks yet, you will need all of these items. Now, to make this tutorial, I am going to use all of these items. So I'm going to make up to tier 3. But you can just follow along to wherever you want to stop, whether that be a tier 2 or tier 1. Before we start our tutorial, I am going to tell you real quick what you will need. Now, I assume you have at least some notions of Minecraft, and that you have at least started the game just a little bit, so you have access to some materials. Now, the things that might be a bit more difficult to get, that you can't mine, is invar ingots, which you can make by smelting iron ingots and ferrous ingots together. Now, the ferrous ingots can be called nickel as well. Now, if you melt 2 iron ingots and 1 ferrous ingot, you get invar. Now, the second thing is sulfur. Now, you can get sulfur in 2 ways. You can get them from the sulfur clouds, and you can get them from sulfur ore. Now, the ones from the sulfur clouds, they do not work. They do not work. So you need the ones from the sulfur ore. You need the is it thermal expansion? Yeah, you need a thermal foundation type of sulfur. Now, you can also get that from, I would say, killing most of the mobs in the nether. But I don't know if it's 100% drop rate, but you can get them from mob drops, and you can get them from melting up in the regular furnace, melting up this nether sulfur ore. Next, we have the bronze ingot, which you can smelt together by combining a copper ingot and a tin ingot together. So 3 copper ingots and 1 tin ingot will make you the bronze ingot. And then lastly, we have electrum ingots, which you can get by combining gold and silver ingots, respectively, just 1 of each, and you can get electrum. Now, for all 3 of these, apart from the sulfur one, you will need the smeltery. Now, if you don't have the smeltery yet, which would really surprise me, because you should definitely get that first, you will need the following items. So for the minimum kind of smeltery that you need, you will need 18 seed brick, a smeltery controller, a seed tank, a smeltery drain, a seed faucet, and a casting table. You will also need lava cans or lava buckets. Now I do have to tell you that the lava cans cost about 3 tin to make, and it's about 3 to make 12 cans if I'm not mistaken. And if you use them, the lava cans do disappear, while the buckets you keep them. And then lastly, you need an ingot cast and a gear cast. Now how your smeltery will, what your smeltery will look like is this. Now this is the minimum of space, well, kind of the minimum. You can go smaller as well, but I would say definitely go 3 by 3 at least, and you can go higher as well. Now the higher you go, the more that you will be able to put in here. Now the more this will be, but this is the minimum. And below these wall blocks, below this, you can put dirt or any other block. That does not need to be the seared brick. The only seared brick on the bottom is this 3 by 3 area. Now, before we start making our jetpacks, I will let you know in the description below where exactly in the video I start making the tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 respectively. So definitely check out the description because depending for what you want, you might want to skip to that point in the video. So the first jetpack that we will make is the Leadstone jetpack. So again, all the items that you will need are these. As you can see, I have more, but that is because these are all the items to make up into tier 3. So if you only need to make until tier 1, the Leadstone jetpack, you just need these. So to start out, what we will need is a Leadstone Flux Capacitor, for which we need 3 redstone, 1 sulfur, 1 copper ingot and 2 lead ingots, which you can see in this chest. So how you make them is just put the copper ingot in the middle, the lead on the side, a redstone right here, right here, right here, and then a piece of sulfur. There you go. And you have a Leadstone Flux Capacitor. Now, if you make up to tier 3, you will do this 3 times. If you make up into tier 2, you will do this 2 times. So I will do this 3 times because I want to make this up until tier 3. There we go, and there we go. So boom, there we have it. Put this right here, put these on the side for later. And we can go to the next thing, which is the leather strap. So easy recipe, just 2 pieces of iron, 4 pieces of leather, and you will craft it up like this. There we go, there we go, and we have our leather strap. You only need 1 of these. So the next thing that we need is a leadstone thruster. Now we need 2 of these, and to make those we need 4 pieces of lead each, 1 piece of redstone each, 2 leadstone flux ducts each, and a steam dynamo per leadstone thruster as well. So these are the items that you will need to make this. Now, how to make those items, we will just go here. We will need leadstone reception coils, and we will need 2 of these. So easy recipe, 2 gold ingots, 1 gold ingot, and 1 on each side is a piece of redstone. So how you make this? Very easy. You can use all of your gold for that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you make until tier 3, you use this 6 times, 42, 42. You do this 4 times, and for tier 1, you just do this twice. So for tier 1, we just need this. There we go, 2 times. And moving on to the leadstone flux duct, we need 4 of these. Now this recipe, this gives you 6, and you can only make it in numbers of 6. Now we need 4 of these, so we will have 2 spare. So 3 pieces of redstone on the top, 3 pieces of redstone on the bottom, a piece of lead on each side, and a piece of glass in the middle. So let's do that real quick. There we go. There we go. Lead on the side and glass in the middle, and that will give you 6 redstone flux ducts. Okay, next thing is the steam dynamo. We need 2 of these for the thruster, so we will need to make all of this twice. On top, just a redstone transmission coil. Below that, in a upside down V shape, copper ingots, and 2 copper gears on the side, and a piece of redstone on the bottom. Now, the redstone transmission coils you make like this. Very easy recipe: piece of silver in the middle and pieces of redstone on each side of the corners. So we'll use a crafting grid, and for this you make this twice for tier 1, 4 times for tier 2, and 6 times for tier 3. So we will do this 6 times. There we go, and put this right here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now it's time to make our steam dynamo. So let's do this. Here we go. So use 2 of these right now. 2 pieces of redstone in the middle. Use both of our copper gears and our copper ingots. There we go. 2 steam dynamos done. So now it's finally time to make our thrusters. We have everything that we need, so let's start crafting this up. So in each corner, 2 pieces of lead. On the top, our 2 redstone reception coils. Below that, our steam dynamos and our leadstone flux ducts right here. And on the bottom, 2 pieces of redstone. And we have 1, 2 leadstone thrusters. And then lastly, we combine everything that we've made, plus again 4 pieces of lead to make our leadstone jetpack. So let's do this real quick. So we have our leadstone thrusters right here, our strap in the middle, our leadstone flux capacitor on the top, and our lead ingots right there. And we have made our leadstone jetpack. There we go. So ladies and gentlemen, that is our tier 1 jetpack completely done. So now we will do the hardened jetpack, which is the tier 2 jetpack. So we will definitely already have the tier 1. So whether you've made this just now with the video or you've had it before, you will definitely need this to do the next part. So if you already have this, that would mean that this is all the items that you will have left over, unless you've already made some more things in the video earlier. If you have not done the leadstone jetpack just yet, you will need all of these items, and you will have to go back to the tier 1 part of this video. But we will start right now with the hardened flux capacitor, for which you need a piece of tin ingot, 2 pieces of invar ingot, 3 pieces of redstone dust, and the leadstone flux capacitor. Now, if you just make tier 2, you will do this once. If you want to make up to tier 3, you will do this twice. So we will do this 2 times. So we will put our tin ingots right here. We will put our invar 1, 2 here, 1, 2 there. We will use our redstone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and our leadstone flux capacitor in the middle. So there you have your hardened flux capacitor for tier 1 and for tier 2. And if you want to make up to tier 3, you will do this again, and we'll keep this on the side for later. Now, the next thing that you will need is the leadstone jetpack, which we already have, so we will not go over this again. The other thing is the hardened thruster, which we will need 2 of. So we will need to make this recipe twice. So we will need 2 redstone reception coils again. We will need invar ingots on each corner of the crafting grid. We will need 2 reactant dynamos now for both for the thrusters, and 2 or 4 hardened flux ducts and pieces of redstone again. So how we make this, the redstone reception coil, if you don't have them yet, this is how you craft them up: redstone, redstone, and gold. So next will be the hardened flux duct, of which we need 4 as well. You just need 3 invar nuggets, 1 leadstone flux duct, and 1 piece of redstone. That will give you one of these. Now you can also make a recipe where you craft 3 at once. So this is the recipe to craft 3. So you can also do 1 of this plus 1 of that to make it more efficient, but we will just make this 4 times. Now to make the leadstone flux duct, this is the recipe for them. So we will have to do this 1 more time because we will not have enough to do this again. So let's quickly make the recipe 1 more time. So we will have a bit spare. We'll have 4 too many, but you can also only make these in numbers of 6. You can't make these for any less. So that's just how it is. So let's craft this up real quick as well. So let's put our leadstone flux duct in. Let's put our invar nuggets in, and let's make 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of redstone, and we have our hardened flux ducts done. And we also need 2 of these. Now the next thing is the reactant dynamo, for which we need 2 redstone transmission coils, 1 piece of bronze here, 1 piece of bronze there, 1 piece of bronze there, and 2 bronze gears on the side, and a piece of redstone. Now if you don't know how to make the transmission coil, very easy recipe. Redstone, silver ingot, redstone, and you will have a transmission coil. So we've made that one already. So let's start making up our reactant dynamo. So let's put the transmission coils on the top, 2 pieces of redstone at the bottom, our bronze ingots right here, and our bronze gears on the side. There we go, 2 reactant dynamos. Then finally we will make our hardened thrusters, of which we need 2. So we have all the items that we have right here. So that would be 8 invar ingots, 2 redstone, 2 redstone reception coils, 4 hardened flux ducts, and 2 reactant dynamos. So let's make this real quick. The redstone reception coil on the top, reactant dynamos in the middle, hardened flux ducts on the side, 2 pieces of redstone in the bottom, and then our invar ingots. We only need 2 of each. Why can't I drag? There we go, 2 of each, and we have our hardened thrusters. There we go. So the last thing is the hardened jetpack. So again, we have all the items that we will need plus our invar ingots. So let's make this real quick. So we have our hardened flux capacitor on the top, our leadstone jetpack in the middle, our 2 thrusters on the side, and our invar ingots on the sides right over there. And there we have it. We have made our tier 2 jetpack. Now we can finally make our tier 3 reinforced jetpack. But before we do that, let me go through a few machines that you will need first. So first of all, I suggest using a Magmatic Dynamo to power all these machines. Now you can use any type of dynamo really, but I suggest using the Magmatic one because that uses lava rather than coal or planks, which the steam dynamo, for example, does. Now the items that you will need are these, mostly a lot of lava, but this is everything you need to make one dynamo. Now we will go through that in a minute because we will need that to make the jetpack itself as well. So the first machine that you will need is a fluid transposer, for which you need a bucket, a machine frame, a redstone reception coil, 2 pieces of copper gear, and 2 pieces of glass. Now the machine frame you make like this, and the items that you will need, I will mention them right now. So for the bucket, that means 3 iron. For the machine frame, that was 4 glass, 4 iron, and a tin gear. Then you have 2 pieces of glass. The redstone reception coil you make like this with 2 pieces of redstone and a piece of gold, and then you will have a copper gear. Now the next thing that you will need is an induction smelter, for which you will need another bucket, another machine frame, and another reception coil, then 2 pieces of invar gear and 2 pieces of invar ingot. These are all the items that you will need, and we will not go over them again because we've seen that already. Now the next thing is a pulverizer, for which you will need a piston, a machine frame again, a reception coil again, 2 pieces of copper gear, and 2 pieces of flint. Now the items that you will need are these. I'm not going to go over them because you should know that by now. So the last thing is a magma crucible, for which you will need a leadstone energy cell frame, another machine frame, another reception coil, 2 pieces of invar gear and 2 nether bricks. Now the leadstone reception cell you make like this with 4 pieces of lead, 4 pieces of glass and a redstone block in this pattern. Now all the items that you will need for this are these, and again you should know how to make them by now. Now if you don't have any of those machines yet, the items that you will need are these. So this is everything that you will need to make all 4 of the machines plus 4 Magmatic Dynamos. If you want to make all of that, you will need this. If you want to make less, you will not need any of these. So finally, we will make our reinforced jetpack. And again, let's go through all the items that you will need. So if you already have the tier 2 jetpack, you will need this. If you have the tier 1 jetpack already, you will need this. And if you don't have any of the jetpacks yet, you will need the items that I took out of the inventory in the beginning of this video. So go back to that point if you don't know it yet. So to start, you will need a redstone flux capacitor. Now, the hardened flux capacitor is something that we've already made, but if you don't know how to make them, these are all the items that you need, and if you want to know how to make them, go back to that part in the video. The timing should be in the description below. So let's make this real quick. So what you need is 3 pieces of redstone, your hardened flux capacitor, 1 diamond, and 2 electrum ingots. Now let's make this real quick. So let's grab our hardened flux capacitor, let's grab our electrum, here we go, let's grab our diamond and our 3 pieces of redstone. There we go, we have our redstone flux capacitor. Second thing that we need is our hardened jetpack, which we have already, so we're not going to go through that again. And then lastly, we need 2 reinforced thrusters, for which we need 4 electrum ingots. Again, we will need 1 redstone reception coil, 1 magmatic dynamo, and 2 redstone energy flux ducts, and a destabilized redstone bucket. And you will need everything twice. So how you make this is the redstone reception coil. Easy enough, you should know this by now. This is how you make it. 2 redstone, 2 redstone, 2 gold for 2 of them. Now the magmatic dynamo, which you would already use to my recommendation for the machines, you make in this way. So you need a redstone redstone reception coil this time, 3 pieces of invar ingot, 2 pieces of invar gear, and 1 redstone dust. So let's make this real quick. So the redstone transmission coil you make like this with 4 redstone and 2 silver if you don't have it already. So let's make it real quick. So put the transmission coil on the top, the redstone 1, 2 in the middle, the invar right there, and the invar gears on the side, and you have your magmatic dynamos. So the next thing is the redstone energy flux ducts, for which you need 4. So to start with, you need the redstone energy flux duct empty and then fill them up. So let's start by making the flux duct, and the items that you will need are 2 pieces of electrum and 1 piece of hardened glass. So this is what you need, and to make the hardened glass you will need a block of obsidian and your lead ore. So how to make this is you go with the hardened glass is step 1, you pulverize 1 obsidian and 1 lead ore. So let's do this real quick. There we have our obsidian, this gets pulverized, and if you're wondering how this got powered, there's a magmatic dynamo underneath. So you get 4 pulverized obsidian, and then you do your lead ore as well. There you go, and as you can see, this goes really fast. So there we have our pulverized lead. We only need 1 of these, but we have 2, but that's just how it is. And then step 2, put everything in the induction smelter. So we need the 4 pulverized obsidian and 1 pulverized lead in there. So 4 of this, 1 of this, there we go. This will smelt up and we will have our hardened glass. Now we have 2 pieces, we just need 1, but again, that's just how it is. So finally, we are ready to make our hardened glass, our redstone energy flux ducts, for which we need 4. So let's put our hardened glass in the middle. Let's put the electrum on the side. We have 6, only need 4, but again, you will have some spare. So the next thing is a cobblestone fluid pipe. You can basically use any kind of fluid pipe that you want. I just suggest using a cobblestone one because it's the easiest to make. It's easy, it's cheap, and it does the trick. So what you will need is a piece of pipe sealant and a cobblestone cobblestone transport pipe. So easy enough to make. The pipe sealant you make from a cactus green, and the cobblestone transport pipe you make from doing this with 2 pieces of cobblestone and a piece of glass in the crafting grid. So let's do that real quick. There you go, we have the pipe sealant. There we go, we have our transport pipe. Now we have 1 cobblestone fluid pipe. We don't need that many because, as you can see, I just use this on 1. I just need 1. Maybe you can put the machines together and they will flow out automatically. I'm not sure. I didn't really think of that. But if you use this, this will do the trick. So what you will do is you will put 8 pieces of redstone dust in here and set the output to orange, because outputting is orange, inputting is blue, and that is for anything that you do. So the output is set to orange. As you can see, we'll put our 8 pieces of redstone in. There we go. And that is enough. As you can see, it will flow through, and we will put the redstone energy flux duct in to fill them up. Oh, I have not put enough redstone in. There we go. So as you can see, when I put my 4 pieces of flux duct in, they will go here and it will flow in there and make them into redstone energy flux ducts. Now you will need to put this on empty, because if you put it on full, as you can see, it goes into that direction, and that's to empty out buckets into the tank right here. So you need to put this on empty as it to empty the tank. So we have our energy flux duct ready. So the last thing that we need to do is make 2 buckets of destabilized redstone. So what we need to do is just add 20 more redstone in the magma crucible. But before we do that, I do believe we need to make our buckets first. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. We have our 2 buckets. We will use our last piece of redstone to go in here. Now to fill a energy flux duct, you will need 4 pieces of redstone, because it's 100 per piece of redstone. To fill a bucket, you will need 1,000, so you will need 10 to fill it up, and that's why we needed 20. So as you can see, this is slowly filling up, and when it hits 1,000, it will grab the bucket, but we will need to take this out first so the bucket can go in. And to demonstrate how it works, if you put the bucket in and you set this to fill, it will fill the tank up with whatever is in the bucket. So that can be water, lava, anything, as long as it's a fluid. So let's empty this into the bucket again. So we are ready to finally make our last jetpack. Now the last thing that we need to do to make our reinforced jetpack is make 2 reinforced thrusters. So we should have everything that we need to make this. So let's start. So let's start by putting the 2 redstone reception coils on the top, the magmatic dynamos in the middle, our redstone energy flux ducts on the side, a bucket of destabilized redstone right here, and our pieces of electrum. Let's spread them out. There we go. And we have our 2 thrusters. And let's do this again. There we go. Take the last 4 back. And finally, let's combine everything that we have to make our jetpack. So the redstone flux capacitor goes on the top, the thrusters go, go on the bottom corners. then the hardened jetpack goes in the middle, and finally the electrum ingots go right there. So there we have it, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We have made our tier 3 reinforced jetpack. So now you can fly around with 2 million RFs of energy. Now, to charge any of the jetpacks, you will need an energetic infuser or any other machine that can provide RF. But I haven't included this in the video, and I've also not included the tier 4 in the video because, as I said, it's not as early-ish game as up to tier 3. But if you like this, if you like the video, if you want me to make a tier 4 video as well, whether or not including the energy transposer, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe. So yeah, definitely give me some love, and I hope to see you all in the next video. So bye.